Greenland is suddenly at the center of global attention in 2026. Why is this frozen land making headlines again? Power does not always shout. Sometimes it waits quietly and then moves fast. Right now, Greenland is no longer ignored. In recent weeks, strong political statements, military discussions, and global reactions have pushed Greenland into trending news. Comments linked to Donald Trump have once again raised tension and questions about control, security, and influence in the Arctic. Governments are responding carefully. Media is watching closely. This is not about ancient history or old wars. This is about today's power game, modern weapons, and future control. In this video, you will understand why Greenland matters right now, how global powers are reacting, and why the Arctic has become one of the most sensitive regions on Earth. Stay with us, because what happens here can shape tomorrow's balance of power. Greenland re-enters the spotlight. Greenland has become a major topic in global news again. Strong political messages linked to Donald Trump made many countries stop and pay attention. Leaders did not ignore it or joke about it. They held meetings to discuss what to do. By the second week of January 2026, at least 5 countries were reported to hold private talks about Greenland. Ice maps and satellite images show that almost 80% of Greenland's northern coast is now open longer in winter months than it was 10 years ago. Markets reacted quietly, with shipping companies changing planned routes. Greenland is now seen as a key point for strategy, not just a frozen island. Attention is careful, planned, and strategic, not emotional. Trump's shadow shapes strategy. Trump's influence still moves global discussions even today. When he mentioned Greenland in late December 2025, countries began reviewing their defense and diplomatic plans. By mid-January 2026, diplomats from at least 8 countries held quiet conversations about Arctic security. Some meetings lasted for 2 to 3 hours with high-level generals and advisors. The Arctic became a symbol of power, not history. Allies measured trust carefully, while rivals calculated risk levels. Reports show that Greenland's radar stations, which cover over 50,000 square kilometers, are now part of these discussions. Global attention is focused on presence and planning rather than speeches, and these discussions continue to shape decisions in 2026. The Arctic becomes a front line. The Arctic is now treated as a front line, not just a remote frozen area. Greenland sits at the center of this critical zone. Many military flight paths, satellite passes, and missile tracking routes go near or over the island. Control here provides early warning, which is vital for safety. In December 2025, Arctic monitoring exercises ran for 14 days, showing how quickly alerts could be sent to defense centers in Canada and the US. By January 2026, reports indicated that Greenland had more than 12 active observation points. Each of these points tracks movements within a 500-kilometer radius. Greenland's location makes it central to survival strategies, not just in the future, but right now. Bases, radars, and watching eyes. Greenland offers perfect locations for radars and tracking systems. These tools watch movements every hour, day and night. They do not attack but collect data about aircraft, ships, and space objects. By late 2025, governments had agreed to upgrade at least 7 radar stations along Greenland's coast. By early 2026, engineers confirmed that new sensors could track missiles up to 2,000 kilometers away. This gives decision-makers extra minutes to respond. Daily reports from January 2026 show more than 20,000 radar signals being processed each day. Greenland now plays a key role in global observation networks. Missiles move faster here. Many missile paths go over Greenland because it is on the shortest route between North America, Europe, and Asia. Even a few minutes of warning can change outcomes. Recent military exercises in January 2026 calculated that detection from Greenland could give a 7-minute advance notice compared to tracking from other points. This small time difference can help protect millions of people. Greenland's location is critical because these paths cannot be redirected easily. By mid-January, analysts estimated that almost 30% of intercontinental missile paths could be monitored better because of Greenland. Speed of detection is power, and Greenland controls that speed. America's Northern Shield. The U.S. sees Greenland as part of its Northern Shield. This shield protects North America and nearby allies. After December 2025, joint meetings involved 15 military planners to review defense plans. Satellites and radar posts in Greenland provide early warning of threats from long distances. In January 2026, new reports suggested that at least 10 additional observation points might be added to strengthen this shield. The presence of Greenland allows America to spot potential dangers hundreds of kilometers away before they reach major cities. This increases the safety of both civilians and allies in North America. Russia and China watch closely. Whenever attention rises on Greenland, other countries react. Russia has increased Arctic patrols, and China has shown interest in polar shipping routes and research stations. By January 2026, Russia had deployed at least 5 icebreaker ships near the Arctic Circle, while China had sent 3 research vessels to study polar conditions. Each radar upgrade, military visit, or political statement is closely noted. Analysts report that Greenland is now a balance point where small moves can have big consequences. Many eyes from different countries are focused on the same land at the same time, measuring everything carefully. Climate change opens access. Melting ice is making Greenland more reachable. Shipping routes now remain open for 40 to 50 extra days each year compared to 2015. This means more ships, more trade possibilities, and more risk for control. By January 2026, satellite images show that ice coverage in some northern bays is 15% lower than it was 5 years ago. This longer open period allows global powers to plan for access and safety. Greenland is no longer closed off for most of the year. Climate change has turned it into a reachable and strategic asset. Governments noticed this quickly and updated their Arctic plans accordingly. Greenland is calm, but the world around it is not. Greenland itself stays very peaceful, with small towns and only about 57,000 people living there now in 2026. But the world around it is very tense and busy. Ships, long-range drones, and satellites watch the ice and sea every 6 to 12 hours. In January 2026, local groups held marches with thousands of people walking across snowy land to show how they feel about big countries talking about Greenland. Around the island, more than 20 military and diplomatic meetings have happened in the last few weeks, and countries are sending radar and patrol ships that can break ice up to 80 centimeters thick. There are no loud battles here, only careful moves and quiet plans. Greenland does not start fights, but conflict may come near it. This is why attention is strong but controlled, and in modern power games, silence can be louder than noise. Small island, very big diplomatic pressure. Greenland may look small on a map, but the pressure on it is very heavy because many big countries are focused on it. In recent weeks, as of January 19, 2026, the United States said it might use tariffs, taxes on goods, against 8 European countries if Greenland's control is not agreed, with tariffs starting at 10% and going up to 25% by June. European leaders like Britain's Prime Minister called these tariff threats wrong and warned they could harm friendships between nations. Leaders in Denmark, France, and Germany have held emergency talks to protect Greenland's rights. Diplomats are very careful with every word they use because one wrong sentence can make tension rise in hours. Greenland is not shouting for power, but power is surrounding it from every side. This puts leaders in a difficult position because they must protect peace while being watched by others. And that pressure can feel heavy even if Greenland does not choose sides. Why control does not always mean ownership. Many people think power means owning land, but the situation with Greenland shows that control often means influence and access, not formal ownership. Today, power is about agreements, defense cooperation, and the ability to watch, report, and act. No tanks are moving in, and no flags are changing, but influence is growing quietly. Decisions made around Greenland affect security plans far away in capitals like Washington and Brussels. For example, Denmark and NATO have increased the number of patrol aircraft and naval drills, and countries are building more bases that can detect movement up to 2,000 kilometers away. Quiet control in this region has more effect than loud actions because it helps allies make plans and counter threats early. The Arctic becomes a test of global trust. Greenland's situation also tests trust between allies and rivals. When tension goes up, countries ask hard questions like, who will help if danger comes? Who will speak first to calm things down? Greenland sits between major allies like NATO members and powerful rivals. This makes trust very important. In recent weeks in 2026, European nations strongly stood together to support Greenland's right to choose its own future and asked for calm dialogue. Some observers were sent to Greenland for 20 to 30 days to monitor the area. Radar and satellite reports come in every hour, and leaders measure each statement carefully to see if countries are acting in good faith. Greenland becomes a place where promises matter and silence is watched closely. Media attention changes the power game. When the news talks about Greenland again and again, everything changes fast. Greenland is now part of daily global discussion on TV, websites, and social media. In 1 week, in mid-January 2026, over 100 news items mentioned Greenland, focusing on tariffs, diplomatic splits, and NATO plans. This media attention makes leaders respond publicly and carefully because silence can seem suspicious, and every statement becomes a signal. Media shows Greenland is not just ice. It is a place where strategy, politics, and climate changes meet. This attention makes the island seem bigger and more important than its size, and it pushes leaders to act in ways they might not have before. What happens next depends on quiet decisions. What happens next in Greenland will not be decided by one big speech or one leader alone. It will be shaped by many quiet decisions made behind closed doors, in meeting rooms, military offices, and strategy centers. Defense planning, diplomatic talks, and cooperation with NATO partners are happening now, with more joint exercises and planning sessions scheduled for the weeks and months ahead. In early January 2026, at least a dozen high-level discussions were already in motion to plan how to keep the Arctic safe and stable. Military exercises have lasted for 10 to 14 days, and radar and patrol ships are active every day. Greenland may stay peaceful, but its role will continue to grow. One wrong move can shift the balance, so every step is slow, calm, and serious. These big global moves may look far away, but they help decide how safe the future will be. Greenland shows us that even quiet places can become very important fast. Power does not always come with loud fights. Sometimes it comes with silence, careful planning, and patience. The world is changing quickly, and the Arctic is no longer ignored. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more simple explanations of big world stories. Share this video with someone who wants to understand how power really works today. And together, let's stay aware of the world shaping our future.